This is my second session with Suave and Fuerza as a Liberty team at Liberty. I have done a couple sessions on a lead line where I had Fuerza on a lead line and had Suave at Liberty prior to this. I was not planning on doing Liberty yet, but Fuerza has volunteered herself from the pasture into our session with Suave and has joined in while I was working Suave in the big arena after she was eating grass. So I figured I'll just take advantage of that and take this opportunity to work with them both together. And you can see that it's going pretty well. It is a little bit harder to go to the right than it is to the left. So here in this session, I spend quite a bit of time sorting out this right side. And it's mainly because Suave has been with me for 4 years and he is so hooked on me. And so he wants to be closer to me and he's getting himself out of a position. So that's a good problem to have. However, we still have to fix it. So you're going to see me how I fix the positions. Them lining up is the number one priority. And then also, I like to have the outside horse until they get more advanced to where they can see me. So I try to stay more in front of them. I do a lot of the shoulder work at Liberty first with the Liberty team. And I walk big circles. I don't make it tight because that makes it hard for the outside horse to keep up with. So straight lines or big circles are ideal. And even when I send them on a circle, I try to keep the circle a pretty good size so that the outside horse does not have to run. Typically, I start at the walk and try to get some good rhythm and relaxation first. And make sure that they're lined up together. Make sure that one's not going too fast, one's not going too slow. When I'm taking them out, I also make sure that they get a little bit of a leg yield coming out, like you can see right here. I'm trying to push the inside horse into the outside horse. Doesn't always work that well, but I do practice a little bit of leg yields and fronting yields eventually, even a little bit more than this, so that the inside horse kind of pushes into the outside horse a little bit going out. You can see that here it's not working really well. Fuerza's going and Suave's not. And when one horse disconnects, I try to just wait for them and try to reconnect them. I don't make a big deal out of it. A lot of this is just confusion. They don't know where they're supposed to be yet and how they're supposed to be there yet. And so they're just learning it. So just patience and time. And here I switched back to the easier side to help them kind of connect and get some rhythm and relaxation, because that's the easier side. So sometimes if it's going hard on the other side, I just take them the easier direction and remind them that they are a Liberty team and they should be side by side like this. And sometimes it transfers to the other side. But again, here you can see it kind of fell apart a little bit. It is important that you are consistent on the position that you decide on until they get pretty high level. Then you can switch it up if you want, but it's very confusing if you just let them be on whichever side they want to be. That makes it hard on both of the horses, really, in the long term. Ideally, you would stick to the same positions for a really, really long time. It is okay to eventually switch the positions, but I usually don't do that for Liberty teams on the ground. I only do that when I'm riding. I might switch sides while I'm riding of the horse that's on the side of the ridden horse, so that I can practice them on both sides, unless I'm creating a big Liberty team where I will have more horses. So here it's going pretty well. We have some good rhythm, good relaxation. They're starting to settle into it. And so I got a little bit greedy and asked for a little bit more speed. And then Fuerza tends to get ahead of Suave. Here you can see me, so I stopped her and backed her up. Here you can see me pushing Suave into Fuerza. And Fuerza did not respond to him pushing into her, and also he was timid to push into her. So I reached under and tried to push Fuerza away by doing a side pass, but it just sent her off. She couldn't see my body language, so she just felt the stick and left. So I just call her back over. And those are the kind of things that I need to get back on the lead line for, is practice some more side passes. I like to teach the horses to yield to one another, so that if one horse starts taking steps towards the other one gets out of their way. And they're also confident to do it. Like Suave in this case was not confident to push into Fuerza. But that's the only way how Fuerza's going to know that she's supposed to yield somewhere, is that Suave starts moving towards her. Because she cannot see my cues when I'm on the inside and she's on the outside. So it is important that they learn to communicate with each other too, and go off of each other. But here you can see Fuerza tends to get a little bit ahead when she's on the outside. So I do practice stopping and backing. And then I practice this a lot where I back the horse up. If they get crooked, I side pass them back to the inside horse. And that's something that I do a lot at the beginning to teach them how to be a Liberty team. Is the outside horse usually drifts away. You can see her drifting right here. So it would be good for me to stop again and draw her back to me. Or I can take a step left and draw Suave and also back up in front of her to where she can see me and draw her back to me by catching her eye. So there are a lot of different options, and sometimes they just fix themselves like she did right there. There she's drifting a little bit again. So usually I try to slow the inside horse down like I did right there. That gives them the opportunity to get caught up to where they can see me also. You have got to have a halt and a half halt on these horses. You've got to have changes of direction, good side passes, up and downward transitions, good circles, sizes, big and small before you do this. You should not have any kind of discussions about that, training discussions. And while you're trying to do a Liberty team, you've got to have the foundational stuff in. If you don't, it's going to be total chaos. So make sure that you have that first. So once we started going pretty good to the left again, I went ahead and switched sides. You can see that Suave here gets out of position again. What's important is that you can walk towards the horse that's closest to you, towards their butt, and are able to send the other horse behind them without that influencing your inside horse. So there I rubbed on Fuerza with the stick as a ground tie so that she would know not to disengage her hindquarters. Usually they try to do that. If you step in there with energy, they try to disengage, and then that puts the outside horse out of position to be able to line up even more so. So it is important that you're able to just walk around your horses as an ingredient without them moving, so that you can reposition that other horse eventually. So lining them up and causing that to be a sweet spot is your number one priority. And then them learning how to stay lined up while they're walking, trotting, and eventually cantering. So I'll make a big deal out of it, or try to make a big deal out of it when they line up. Take a moment, acknowledge it. Give them a treat if you'd like to when they line up. Rub on them, hang out with them. This is really good relaxation. You can see that on this harder side, I am starting at the shoulder. So that is a lot easier for them because they're just kind of following me at the shoulder and following each other. It's at the walk. It's a big enough circle to where they have good balance. And here I am practicing a change of direction, so you can see how I'm trying to send the front end out. And if it's not moving, that outside horse has to get out of the way of the inside horse. So you could see that I tapped her shoulder when she wasn't yielding to give the new inside horse, which is in this case Suave, room to go. And I do quite a bit of that on a lead line first. So they're both drifting. I have a couple options. I can either push on Suave's hip and draw the nose, which is what I ended up doing in that case, or I can get more in front of them and catch the eye and get them back to me that way. Here again, I slowed Fuerza down with my left stick and I sped up Suave with my right stick. So you gotta get good at multitasking when you start working Liberty teams. That is part of it, being aware of where your sticks are, being aware of how your body position and your sticks are influencing each horse. And you should be able to stop one and speed one up, or slow one down and speed one up. That's part of the process here, so that they can maintain same position. There you could see I slowed Suave down so that Fuerza could get caught up. I'm keeping an eye on her, seeing where she's at. And there, I believe she probably got ahead of us. So I backed her up, and there I'm drawing her back to Suave, because the backup usually causes her to get crooked and even further away. And then I gave them a treat when they lined up. And I just hang out and make a big deal out of it, because that's the position that if they can learn to stay side by side like that for anything and everything that we do, then that's going to be ideal. So just teaching them to seek that sweet spot of the lining up. Their Fuerza's drifting out again, but she's still staying connected. I could again back up in front of Suave and catch her and draw her. I'm just trying to see if she'll get lined up. Sometimes I speed the outside horse up a little bit so they get a little more ahead. I like to be able to see the face of the outside horse ideally eventually. I like for them to keep an eye on me. So the inside horse is usually a little bit further back, unless the horses are staying on their job and following the other horse pretty well, and they don't need my guidance, then I might let them kind of fall back a little bit. Like Track sometimes gets a little bit lazy and falls back with Agnes. But when I ask for a change of direction, he gets caught up right away. So it hasn't been a problem. Like right there, Fuerza is a little bit further back, but she's on the job, so I'm leaving her alone. No need to make a fuss out of something and be too critical when they're just learning, especially. Right, this is actually really nice here. They have good rhythm. They're connected. I did speed Fuerza up just a little bit there. This is a pretty small circle, but she's got some really nice lifted canter circles. She's capable of being caught up on this with the inside horse. If she wasn't as vertically and laterally balanced, I would not have pushed on her. This is her easier side, and she was able to stay with him in the canter. So I was super happy with that, and we quit on that for the day.